we go on Zoom again and speak to Mr. Richard Anamoo, who is the NDC spokesperson on infrastructure and the former Director General of the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority. So, Anamoo, good afternoon. Thank you very much for your time.
Good afternoon, and it's a pleasure talking to you, and best wishes and to all your cherished viewers.
Just a quick one. There are many who have said that or asked that, do these infrastructure developments and the commission of them influence the Ghanaian voter in any way? Because we saw ChannelOne under your regime, that was in 2016. Do these influence the Ghanaian voter in any way?
I think they do. They significantly do, because the first thing you need to understand is that most people, a lot of people, even within the last few years, that's 8 years now, people have gone on demonstrations because there's no power, the road network is bad, the water supply is bad. This is what we're talking about here. That's infrastructure. The issue is when you have provided those things and people are okay and they're leaving, then they ask for other things. So yes, I can tell you, straight to your answer, infrastructure is a major determinant. Because it's that infrastructure that determines the standard of living of the people, that they are living in a clean state. How do you get a clean state? I mean, good drainage systems, that rubbish and refuse and all that is collected and disposed of. That the street lights, the roads are very good, the houses are good and all that. That's what determines the state. What we have to also remember is that Ghana is a developing country. When you say a developing country, it means most of its infrastructure primarily are underdeveloped. And therefore, the issue of infrastructure as a tool, that people can look up to, is very important. It can be a major determining factor. But the fact that with human beings being of course, once you are provided that people are driving on good roads, they living where the schools are there, the hospitals are there, then they begin to ask for other things that can affect, the nature of the voting as far as politics is concerned.
Your presidential candidate, Mr. John Mahama, is moving across the length and breadth of this country, also promising, infrastructure before the election in one of his campaigns across the country. He's been president before. Many people have said that he built quite a number of them. What new is he going to add to already existing ones then?
And I go back to the first statement that I made, that we are a developing country. And what Ghana needs to do is to develop its infrastructure as the basis upon which investors can come in. No investor is going to come in and go and set up a factory in, say, Boku or Asangekwa or Sunyani when they have no access to the place, when there's no electrical power, when there's no water, when there's no facility for schools, when he cannot be guaranteed by security because the security people themselves, do not have infrastructure to live on and to operate. So yes, JM, leader of the NDC, started something. He set up the space for development. He laid out the foundation. These are, just like the way Kwame Nkrumah started after independence. Kwame Nkrumah tried to lay the foundation for us to take off. That's why he went into construct the Akosombo Dam. That's why he went into construct the several schools across the whole country. Those were necessary to lay the foundation. Unfortunately, after he was, unlawfully removed, and what happened next? The infrastructure got up as we sit here today. It's Akosombo. If we switch over Akosombo today, there will be nothing left. Tama Accra, we're still using the motorway that Kwame Nkrumah did several decades ago. So infrastructure is a fundamental tool. And what JM started to do was to reinstate our old infrastructure and then put in the necessary infrastructure that is required to take the country to the next level. That's why, look, Kwame Nkrumah started, the airports were concerned about Kwame Nkrumah. The ports were concerned about Kwame Nkrumah. The major roads were concerned about, and that's what we have lived on all these years. JM came and said with his team, so we needed to move our country to the next level. Population had grown from 80 million to almost 30 million people. We could not continue to live under those states. That is why he started expand the airports. We needed to expand it because don't forget that when you create these facilities, they create job opportunities for people to come in. So you don't go about constructing structures that do not really generate revenue. that do not really, create job opportunities for people, that you don't construct for facilities that actually is a drain on the economy of the country. Yesterday, or I think today, either yesterday or today, our president went and commissioned the Bank of Ghana edifice. Ask yourself, me and you, what is that? Why should we get up and spend so much money on such an infrastructure? One, all the people who will be working in there will pay from the taxpayer. That building, no floor is good, can be rented out to private people. Where is the Bank of Ghana? That building itself does not generate revenue. No. How many people are going to pass through that place because it's a high security zone? So we need to put up facilities, infrastructure that would benefit to the people as a whole. And that's why JM started with the hospitals, okay, with the cheap compounds that come to the communities, with the main thing, in and out the ports, both air and sea. And of course, you and I know very well, and of course the rest of the country, see how much work has been done at the new airport, Terminal 3. We go to Takoradi. Takoradi Port is generating a lot of revenue. The Terminal 3 that also considered Terminal Port. The same thing. Sorry. They came in and they even tried to stop that project. Lo and behold, it is that project that is generating a lot of revenue for which they are, I would say, unlawfully diverted to Buankra. If you need to go to Terminal 3 in Terminal Port or Terminal 3 at the airport to see the number of people who have been engaged in active business, if all that other facilities, those other hospitals, those cheap compounds that JM has started, if they had gone ahead to complete them, and I tell you, there's a lot more to come.
Mr. Anamoo,
and that's why there's yes.
Yes, Mr. Anamoo, you've mentioned a number of things John Mahama has did whilst in power.
Yes.
You also alluded to the fact that indeed infrastructure influences votes in this country.
Sure.
You look at your opponent and what they have done. You talk about
Yes.
the Agenda 111 project. You talk about some of the completion of the e-blocks which your government could not complete. You talk about some new school buildings they put up. Tomorrow, they are inaugurating the Tema Impakadam Railway. If you put all these together, aren't you worried that this government is doing so much which is influencing and affecting the lives of people, hence could turn out into votes for them?
Let me tell you one by one. You see, when you are doing a project, just because you are doing it for political reasons, just because you want to put up something that, okay, you think that the voter region is the main zone of the NDC, the strong zone of the NDC, so you've got to construct a rail to that place and use all sorts of funding means to get there. You are a TV station. Move yourself tomorrow and go to the Mpakadan station in the Water Lake and ask yourself, why did this rail line come to that place? Why? A rail line gets to the place, there's nothing. What is it supposed to do? What is the rail line supposed to do? Let's assume that it's supposed to take containers from the port to that place. The containers arrive at the riverside at the Water Lake. I have personally been there to see. The containers have no place to land. There's no equipment there to drop the container. No. There's no parking place or betting place for any crowd on the Water Lake to be able to take the container. No. Absolutely nil. So what is the purpose of doing that? Then let's go to the Buankra. Buankra also is somewhere, along the Kumasi Road. You have gone ahead to push money, diverted, deprived GPHA of money, and send that money to that place. Buankra will not come to life unless there's a rail line from Accra Tema to Buankra to be able to take the containers. So pumping in that money there, just because you want to please the people of Asante, because that's your strong zone, it's a total waste of money. It's causing financial loss to the state. Now, you come to the other project that they're talking all over.
Okay.
You don't just do a project because you want to finish up. No. So these projects, Agenda 111, you started several of them, none of them have been completed. None of them will be completed. Because the ones that you have even started, the hospitals that are there, you have not, because hospital is a necessity of life. So why do you get up just because of political sake? You get up and say that you are building Agenda 111, you got to develop 111 hospitals at the same time when you don't have the means? No. That is what, that's not what JM is talking about.
Okay.
That's not what JM would be doing.
Okay.
So yes, these things are there, they may have, but of course, people have seen. I mean, if you are moving, if you are on the Teshi road, you see all the abandoned roads along the place.
Okay.
So these projects will not in any way. We don't expect the voter to look, they should look at it as just political gimmicks intended to draw attention.
All right.
Yes.
Mr. Anamoo, I'll say a big thank you for your time. Thank you very much, Richard. Anamoo is the NDC spokesperson on infrastructure and a former Director General of the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority.